friends. I am Mrs. Parna Mukherjee, and I'll be taking up the today's session of on integrating nature in teaching science. Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, is the screen visible?
Yes,
Sir?
ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So, dear friends, this is the topic for today's session, today's webinar, that integrating nature in teaching science. And let me introduce to you myself again. I'm Mrs. Parna Mukherjee. I'm MSc Biochemistry. I've got 34 years of teaching experience at St. Xavier's Senior Secondary Co-ed School, and I am fortunate to be associated with Narayani Teacher Training Center. And today's session, as I've already told you, my topic is to integrate nature while teaching science. Okay, now the ground rule, as all says, we will try and speak one at a time when it is an interactive session. We cannot put our mobiles off for today because we need that little gadget for our sessions. So I move on. So today's agenda says is the first question that we want to understand is what is science. Then I will be highlighting to you some of the fun classroom activities that we can have in and out of classroom. Then what will be the learning outcomes of these classroom activities and what hindrances we face as teachers. Okay. Now to start with, can anybody tell me what we understand or what we expect when we talk about science? Have you ever thought that we use this word science with several subjects like we say computer science, moral science, social science? So can anybody give me an insight like what is science? Could I have a response? Anyone? Okay, let me go ahead. Uh, well, the science, whenever we talk about science, it begins with observation. And I think the best scientific minds are with the little children of KG1 or even smaller than that. They have a question for everything. Why is this black? Why is this soft? Why are the leaves green? Why this? They have got n number of questions with them. So I think they have the most scientific mind. That is, when you observe anything, we will come up with a question. Now, for example, if I talk about Newton's theory, he had observed we all see where fruits falling from the trees, leaves falling from the trees, but we have never asked ourselves that why does it fall down? So when we fail to ask such questions, that means we have put off our scientific temperament. So we need to ask questions for everything: why, what, where, when, how. And when we come up with questions, we will try and look for a reason and answer for it. And science always needs experimental proofs, experimental support to give out a principle. Now, when we do an experiment, when we try and get a result, we analyze that result. But what we have done needs to be supported by the other scientists, the other people who are also looking into this matter. So we again go back. There are people who will again perform the same experiment. They will analyze the results. And when we get a repetitive result or similar results, and we come to a conclusion, and that conclusion, we call it as a principle, a rule, a law of science. And if this is what is science, I suppose now we can extend it to the other subjects, social science. Like why? When we are talking about a social science, that means there, if I'm talking about geography, why are the geographical features of this region such and such? So when we observe, when we ask questions, that means we have ignited our scientific temperament. So this is the first step of it. Moral science, behavioral science. Why is the student quiet? Why is the student too active? And when we try to, we observe, this is our observation, and then we will try to find out systematically, logically. We will not jump into questions. So that is our scientific temperament. So I feel that science begins with observation. And if we can instill this quality of observation in our students inside or outside the classroom, I think we have taken a step ahead. And the first thing we need to work on the lower classes. So let's see into some of the insights of some simple fun activities that we can do inside a classroom or outside a classroom. I'll be mainly, again, I want to repeat that we need to instill this quality of observation specifically in the smaller children so that their scientific temperament keeps on remain ignited, and it will all build, will be able to build up on it. Now, see the first slide that I have made. This is colors of nature. Now, when we teach colors to the children of KG class or even lower nursery classes, once a while we can take them to the garden, let them appreciate these little flowers, green leaves, the flowers of different color, ask them to run about and find out where are the yellow flowers, where are the green flowers. Not only they will find out, learn what is colors, they will observe the flowers, and then that might lead into different questions. For example, they may ask, why are the flowers of different color but the leaves are of green color? Do you agree to us, dear teachers, those who are on the line? Can I have a response from somebody? Do you agree to it? Can you come up with more questions like a child? If you become a KG child, what other question can you ask from here? I'm not getting any answer. Anybody? Are you able to unmute yourself? Sir, are you able to unmute yourself? The other day, the teachers had a difficulty in unmuting themselves. I'm not
Ma'am,
getting. Yes.
what is the assistance that you need?
No, the other day the teacher said that they were not able to unmute themselves. Are
They can
you?
unmute themselves. They can unmute themselves.
Okay. That day, I got this feedback that they were not able to unmute themselves. So I thought maybe that's why I had put up the questions. Today, the class seems to be very silent, not answering
You
my
need to, I
questions.
mean, maybe you have to ask them to actively participate, but everyone can unmute
Yes.
themselves.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Please check the chat box. They are writing the questions in the chat box.
Okay. Um, can I hear from the teachers for the questions? Okay.
The child can ask why the flowers, some of them are big in size, some small, some
Yes.
are.
So what do you think? What have the child learned here? They are learning about size. Observation could be that they are learning that is big and small. This I'm talking about a KG class, big and small, more or less. Which flowers are more in number in this garden? They can run and count and all. So this way we can ignite the scientific temperament in the children. Now let's come to the next slide. Dear teachers, can you tell me which is the principle that we are talking about here? Can anyone think that what is the simple concept that we are teaching here?
And shadow,
Okay, good. It is shadow, but what is shadow dependent on?
light, effect of
Light,
light.
effect of light. And when do we get a shadow? Then when we obstruct a light. So can't this
Yes, ma'am.
be a fun activity for with the children of lower classes? Anytime, once a month or maybe once in a 6 month, we can take the class out and at different times, and we can ask, see, today your shadow is small. The other day your shadow was long and it was in front of you. Today your shadow is on the side. So, and today your shadow is behind you. And this is actually a sundial that they, according to time that they have taken the shadows. Now, this is a simple concept that you can be instilled in the children, that of science, and once they do it, they will never forget. Now, this everybody knows. Which animal is this? If you are a small child, and if I ask you that identify it, identify the animal, what would be your answer?
Deer.
Somebody said deer. Any other? Somebody can say something else. Any other animal?
Dog, ma'am.
Okay. So
Giraffe.
again, you see, this is something you're about your observation. Somebody has observed it as a deer, somebody has observed it as an dog, and now we can tell the children, please um, make another shadow of another animal. Can I think usually easily they can show a bird, can't you? A bird can easily be shown by the fingers crossed, and if you flap the hands like this, it is a bird flying. The image will be of a bird flying. So if we do these little things in the classroom, I think we will be able to generate curiosity. Anything else anybody would like to say upon it? Any other concept we can develop here?
Ma'am, even children can learn the concept of time as well. At what time the shadow will be big and at what time the shadow will be small. Even in this
Yes,
time, they can
very
understand the
good.
rotation of the sun.
Very good. This is what I said. This is actually a sundial. These shadow images that we are seeing on the screen have been taken on different time, and that tells us what is the time. At least once a year, we can do these little activities with the children of class 1 or class 2. And once they do it, they will be so excited. I'm telling you, friends, that they will be excited to carry on many such things. And this is how we can develop scientific temperament in the students. It doesn't require money, it doesn't require any preparation. Now, this is a topic for a senior classes. 11th and 12th, there is a topic which is called as phyllotaxy. Now, phyllotaxy is actually the arrangement of leaves. If your school has got a good garden, you can tell the children, go around in the garden and locate a plant, locate a pot where you can see the different types of phyllotaxy. Here you can see alternate. Look at the attachment of the leaves on to the stem. They are alternate. One leaf is here, then that other, then the other. Now here you can see they are at the same point. The two leaves are attached at the same point. Whereas here the leaves are in the whorls. They are all arranged circularly. And if you give them one or two examples and tell them that first you collect the leaves and then I will teach it in the classroom, or we can take a field study and do it. We can give them the notes to the children and we can ask it. Do you agree, any of the teachers who have been teaching this topic in the higher classes? Do you feel it is possible? observation, when we teach in the textbook, I know today it is the world of your media, but still personal experience. You can also ask the children, what type of venation does it have? We have different types of veins on the leaf. For example, there is reticulate venation, there is parallel venation. You can ask them. Then again, you can look at these leaves. The edges of these world leaves, they are smooth, whereas the edges of these leaves they are not smooth, they are edged. So this could be a little observation that we could ask the children to do. Do you agree to it?
Yes, ma'am. With the help of these objects, the students they can understand well. And
Not
I
only,
also
yes, yes, ma'am. They will totally understand well. They will remember it lifetime. Yes, in our school there is one plant of this type, and the leaves are this. This is a very important thing. And if another simple, we can relate experiments. You can pick up leaves of neem. You can pick up the leaves of kadi patta. You can pick up the leaves of your tulsi, and ask the children to identify the leaf is of what plant. And it is sad that many of us don't have access to gardens and to plants, orchards. But if you ask the children to collect it from some place, at least they will know that what leaf looks like it. This is a leaf of a banana plant. This is the leaf of a guava plant. This is a morigana plant. So this is what we expect the children, we expect everybody to understand. Now look at the next slide, a simple experiment, the germination of seed. Now, for us, it might be too simple, but if you ask a student of class 2 to do it, tell me, dear teachers, what do you think will their experience, what will they feel about this experiment? If I ask you, give your observation, conclude the experiment, what do you think will be the conclusions the children will bring out? Can anybody respond? What conclusions can a child give from this experiment?
Root always goes
movements
down.
of body, movements of plant parts.
Okay, at least you can see when germination, two parts have come out. This white one is the root and the other one is the shoot. And I could hear somebody saying the root is growing downwards and the shoot is growing upwards. Something else? Do you think always these seeds will germinate? What do you think the condition was required for the germination of the seed?
Ma'am, not all seeds maybe germinate because some may have certain different conditions, like they require different kind of temperature and water requirement as well.
Exactly.
So
Okay,
it depends upon the type of seed, even what environment we are giving, either they are growing in a shade or they're growing in a dry area. That is also dependent. So, and even the children can observe that the root is grown towards the soil and the shoot is growing towards the sunlight. They can observe that also.
Very good, Shima ma'am. Can you tell me from your answer? From your answer, there is one more thing. You said all these seeds require certain conditions and they will germinate under different conditions. So what have you observed? There is a specific requirement of a seed, but there is one common requirement for all the seeds to germinate. And what is that?
That is the soil, water.
Water, I meant to hear in this particular jar, there is no soil, but yet the seeds have germinated. That means water is an essential requirement.
Water is an
essential. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is one
Water
thing
is
at
that.
least.
Yes,
And
ma'am. Even the
okay.
sunlight, because light is also essential for their
Yes,
growth.
ma'am. Exactly. But even if you keep your sprouts in a closed box, they germinate. So do you think
Yes, ma'am.
sunlight is always essential for germination?
No,
No.
ma'am.
Okay, so this is how we will tell them. We can put up questions to them and they will think, they will ponder on the questions. We also have to lead them to the questions. Okay. Now, another very important thing, just now, like Shima ma'am, you had said that some of the seeds will not germinate, others will germinate. What is germination showing about this particular seed? What is the difference between the dry seed? And I don't know I'm able to put up my question or not. Let me give the answer. I'm trying to say that even a dry seed has got life in it. And to life because it is growing. It is able to grow when it gets its optimum condition, its necessity for water. No matter if you give the same thing to a pebble, same conditions to a pebble or to a small other piece, will it germinate? So we can tell a child of class 1 or class 2 that some objects have got life and some do not have life. And if there is life in that particular matter, then it will grow. Do you agree to me? Can I have responses from the other
Yes,
teachers
ma'am,
as well?
definitely. It means that even we can teach the children the concept of life as well.
Yes, this is what let us take the same experiment to the different levels. If it is an experiment for the class 1 children, then the parts of a seed we can tell them. Or if we go to the second thing, conditions required for it. Or if we go to the still higher classes, then we can take it to, the question has to be different. The observation has to be different. The same way, this is a beautiful representation that here we can see the shoot is growing out of the bottle. But here we are seeing the shoot is growing, bending all the seeds which have germinated. The shoot is trying to bend towards, and this is tropism. Now, this is a concept that we are teaching the 10th class children, and very few of us actually perform this experiment for the children and do it. So we can easily do this experiment in the classroom, and it is for us to be organized and ask the children, what do you observe? Do you agree to it? Now, tropism, for those who are not of the science background, let me explain it to the teacher. This is an experiment which says that a part of a plant will move towards or away from a stimulus. Here we are talking about light. Light is the stimulus. If light is the stimulus, the shoots have grown towards the light, and in the previous jar, we can see the roots are growing towards water. So in the previous experiment, if it is shown to the senior classes, we can explain them. This is geotropism, whereas the shoot is showing phototropism. So the same experiment, different observation, different questions, and different concepts of science can be taught. And these are the things. We don't need to do too much preparation to do these experiments. And we can do it. We can do it in the class, like I had told you that about light. Now we understood that if you keep an object on the path of the light, it will produce a shadow. Now you can ask the child, move the object away from the source of light. What will be the effect on the size of the shadow? Or your other question could be, if the object is still, if you move the mirror, or if you move the screen away from the light, or the source of the light away from the object, what will be the effect on the size of the image? So these little things, what we teach the children in the classroom, in the form of ray diagrams and all, if a little bit of curiosity also we are able to generate in the children, I think it is going to go a long way in the learning process. Can any of you give me any example of an experiment that you might have conducted in the classroom, science-based experiment? Anyone? Any little experiment that you might have done sometime?
image or formed by convex lens. Like
Okay.
when we try to obtain the image of any distant object like a tree or something in the uh, means inside the school campus itself.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
we
Shobha
try
ma'am,
to
very
get
good.
it on the screen.
We can
When
do
we
it.
try to get the image on the screen, the children get astonished to see that the image is inverted.
Exactly, ma'am. So, and a simple thing. Sometimes we take a brand new plate and we find our faces elongated, our faces broadened. Have we experienced that?
Yeah, that's true.
And if we ask little questions of this type to the children and we tell them that this is your activity for today, go and do it at home and tell me tomorrow that what did you observe? I think there will be uh, a response from the children. And specifically, again, I'm telling you, the scientific temperament has to be instilled in the small children. And this quality of observation will filter it into the other subjects as well. And they will be able to ask questions, relate the concept to what is being taught. And here, children, teachers, we have a caution. We do not, we have to be very open to the children. If we are asking them to ask questions, we should be ready to answer. Many a times we don't have an answer. So we can tell our children, we will get back to you. We will get back with the answer. But in no condition, a small child, suppose you talk about a small, ma'am, ये गोरा क्यों है, ये मैं काला क्यों हूँ, ये राउंड क्यों है, ये लंबा क्यों है, आपने ये कलर का साड़ी क्यों पहना. If these are the questions which indicates the child is observant. And if we get irritant and we say, Chup raho, not now, go to ask me later on. If we say something like that, that means we have done enough to kill their scientific temperament. So this is where we need to caution. We as science teachers, we should also improve our ability to observe, improve our ability to ask questions, and then be observant. Okay, now let me come to the next one. This is a slide on natural phenomenon. Can anybody tell me what am I pointing? What is this? What am I showing?
Moon?
Moon, okay. Can I have a specific name for this moon?
Phases of the moon.
Full moon?
Full moon, okay. But this full moon has got a color. Can you observe it? It is actually the image of something, what we call it as a pink moon. And this is how a pink moon doesn't need to be pink. It is related to a phenomenon in America. But in India, this pink moon was observed just a few days back on 12th of April on Hanuman Jayanti, the first full moon of the month of April. The moon is called as your pink moon day because it is a shift of season and that's how the name has come. Now, if we ourselves are aware of it, that this is a phenomenon, the newspapers are giving us these phenomenons that this is going to happen. And if we tell our children that today everybody will go out with your parents and click a picture of the moon, not only you have forced the child, but you have also forced the parents who may not have watched a moon for years or months. We have forget to go out in the balconies or out in the garden and observe these celestial things. Do you agree, ma'am? How many of you did see this moon on April 12th?
I've seen, ma'am, from my terrace.
Okay, that's you are a fortunate person, and yes, a clap for you that you could see
Thank
this
you, ma'am.
this particular moon. Anyone else? So we have missed it out. We have missed it out. So had a teacher told a small children that today is that you will have to watch it, and I want the pictures of it. You watching the moon, take a camera pic and share the pic with me. At least if not 50%, even if 10 child goes and does it, I think that we have achieved our goal. Now, second, ma'am, this is your, everybody knows this is rainbow. Now, once a child sees a rainbow, at least we need to let them go out and observe the rainbow. And if they see a rainbow, what questions can you ask the child? From this rainbow, what are the, let us take up the questions from different stages, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 5, class 10. Can you think what could be the different questions that may be asked? If you are a KG child, what question will you ask?
What are the different colors of a rainbow?
Okay, that is a class 1 question. Okay, class 2 questions. If a student of class 2 or class 3 has to observe and a question, what do you think that could be the mind, can come to their mind? Okay, the question could be why it is always semicircular. Can that be a question? Oh, next, if you are even of the higher classes, you can ask a question, why do you see a rainbow only before or after there is a rain? When there is a rain, when it is raining, then there are chances of seeing a rainbow. Okay? Now, can you relate the phenomenon to the changes in the sky? This is where we have to give them leading questions. And if we give them leading questions, then I think there will be children who will be forced to think on it, research on it, and they will find out the new concepts. Now, let me move to the next image. What is this? This is a painting, basically. But can you tell me which scientific phenomenon we are talking about? This concept we are teaching to the students of 10th standard.
Ma'am, it's
Tyndall
Tyndall effect.
It is Tyndall's effect. Now, tell the child, go and see Tyndall's effect and take images of the Tyndall effect whenever you get a chance. And then once they have asked the questions, then you can ask them, okay, you design an activity through which you can display Tyndall's effect to the other students of the class. Can we do it? Now, dear teachers, tell me, how many of you in the lower classes have made the kaleidoscope? We had made kaleidoscope when we were small kids or when we were in school. But I think most of our children have not seen a kaleidoscope. These little toys of scientific concepts are gradually disappearing. Their hands-on ability, they are all into technology. Through technology, through your mass media, AI, they are able to do it. Yes, that is also a great, great progress in the field of science. But nature, how can you forget nature? Can technology do anything without light, without energy? So that is nature. How many of our children have seen a coal? Dear teachers, those who are here and who have children at home, have your children seen coal? Could I get a response? They might have seen a diamond, but they have not seen a coal. Isn't it? And we teach coal in social studies, in geography, in science. Can't we make a small effort to get a piece of coal from some source and show it to the children? Differentiate between a charcoal and a coal. We are talking about biodegradable source of energy, renewable sources of energy, and there the coal gets a mention. Don't you think we are missing out on these little things of nature? If I have been able to force you to think on it, and dear teachers, we don't have to prepare anything. There are little things that you people can do in the class and give activities to the children up to the standard 5th. If you do give it, I think at least 40% of the students of your class will do it. Please do not make it a mark basis activity. Then they will do it for the marks. We don't want the children to learn science or integrate nature with teaching of science for marks. We wanted to do it to instill the source of the curiosity, observation, analysis, and so on. Now, this is what I wanted to say. And now it is for us to think what we can do in the class. Now, when we come do these little activities in the classroom, what do you think are the learning outcomes? What do you think is the learning outcome? One very important learning outcome is that we develop the skill of inquiry, asking questions. And when we ask questions, that was my first slide saying, science says that you have to ask questions, observe and ask questions. If we have been able to instill the ability to ask questions, I think we have set the ball rolling. Now, I suppose everyone will agree it is a joyful learning. A student, even if one class of yours, you take them out of the classroom walls and teach them any concept of science. Ask them, why does a hard ball not rebound, but a rubber ball rebounds? This asks the children to dribble. And once they dribble, and then you put up this question. Say, this is your homework. Go and find out. This is, in their games, there are questions. Then ask them the small games that we did at a small, and when we were small, trying to balance the pebbles. Why is it difficult? Why is balance? They learn that what is center of gravity. That's the concept. Okay, so I'm just giving you ideas to teachers, and if you can share it with your friends at different levels and ask them at least once a year, twice a year, do something, I think that joy of learning is great. That's a great joyful learning. And when you take the children close to nature, they will start observing nature and they will start appreciating nature. Ask them to observe the sky. Today the clouds are white. Tomorrow the clouds may be blackish, grayish. The sun is red in color. The sky is red in color. You can see the different hues of the sky. Well, in senior classes in 10th standard, we are teaching the children why is the sky red and so on. But if you ask those children, many of them may not even have observed such a sky. So put up that question one day in the morning assembly. Give them the question one day before. Observe when you are there in the morning assembly, glance at the open sky and tell me what is the shade of color of the sky today. And let them do it for maybe 5 days, 6 days, and then we can start putting up questions. Now, next is that when we are close to nature, we understand what is our basic needs of life. The basic needs of life is air, water, and food. And that is what the nature gives us. And this, no one else can give it us except for nature. And once they realize it, they will get concerned They will collaborate in different ways to conserve nature. For example, if a child is sensitized, before he throws that water into the drain, he might think that this the stale water in the water bottle, instead of pouring it in the sink, if I put it in the bucket and a little water from each bottle, if we put it in the bucket, that could be a life for a plant. And this plant gives us oxygen. This plant gives us food. So saving a plant may be saving your own cell. We all are experiencing the heat of the temperature. So that's the importance of collaboration to conserve nature. And most importantly, it is a lifelong experience. Once you do it. Now, for example, teachers, may I ask you, suppose I give you a recipe. This is a recipe for a particular dish. A fresher who has never worked in the kitchen, do you think the person will reach the perfection? Isn't your experience in the kitchen or working with the different types of food help you in preparing that dish better? Same way, anything, little thing, if a child sees a fish swimming in the aquarium, and then if the child observes that if you take out that fish from the water, the fish is struggling for life, that experience for that child is a lifelong experience that fish cannot live without water. If you let a child hear to the sounds of the bird, not recorded sounds, take them in wild, take them go out. When they go for a picnic, ask them, this is what you have to observe. Hear the sounds. Or show them a little small videos of the parrots speaking out. That will make the class lighter, happy, and they will then put up a question. Any other bird speaks? So they will go and try and find out. So have you asked a question? Okay, so this is some of the joyful learnings. I can go on, but then I will stick on to my time and my restrictions. Now, next is hindrances. What is the difficulties of integrating nature with teaching science in classroom? Any teachers, anybody would like to say this is our difficulty? We can also hear from you, maybe.
Ma'am, it's usually time consuming and there's limited time for us to complete the course. So usually all these things take time to explain it, to show it and all. So that is one of the differences.
All right. May I know you are talking of which level that you found it difficult?
Ma'am, like that, I'm a kindergarten teacher, but I've seen teachers teaching in the third, fourth standard, fifth standard.
Ma'am, once a year. If one teacher does it once a year or once in 6 months, isn't it possible? Suppose you are free and you are in a substitution period. Yes, I know you have corrections, but ma'am, the joyful learning, no, that when you see the children learn, one day at least, sometimes we talk to our children with the permission of the management. You can take out the children out, let them explore the garden, the pots of the different flowering pots of your school. One day, ma'am, is it possible? One day in the whole year, is it possible?
Yes,
And madam, one day you do, another day another teacher does it. So it could be 2 or 3 learning experience in the whole session. And that might, and you give them a little task, go home, just like I said, put up a money plant in the bottle and see how it is growing. Tell me how are the leaves turned after 7 days. This at least we can do, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what I'm saying, ma'am. So what I feel is only hindrance in the mental block, and what we say we cannot do because there is time constraint. Ma'am, even I am teaching science in the higher classes, and I 100% agree to you that we are loaded with so many tasks, but I do feel that once a while we can do it. And today's children actually need it. So, like I said, if we are able to break this mental block, this block is very heavy on our back. If we are able to break this mental block, we will go ahead. And once we go ahead, this will be the outlook of your class. This is how your class will look like. The class is happy, they have achieved little images, figures they have drawn. This is just a representation, but I don't think so that every teacher will agree. The smiling face of the students, the happy faces of the children are the biggest reward a teacher can get. Achievement, yes, ma'am, I did it. So let us all at least take a effort, take a vow that we will ensure one class, whether I'm an English teacher or a social science teacher, kindergarten teacher, that we will take one activity, integrate one activity with nature in our classrooms. And after this, I want to go through this reflections. See, this reflection says, don't just tell your children about the world, show them. It's high time that we start showing it, because otherwise our children will turn into robots. Their emotions are dying. Their observations are dying. They're shrinking away from nature. They have no belongingness to it. So this is what it is saying. Just don't show your children about the world. Just don't tell the children about the world. Show them. And one more reflection I would like to you all to go through it and ponder. Listen to this. What does it say? It says, restore balance. Most children have technology, school, and they have their extracurricular activities covered. It's time to add a pinch of adventure, a sprinkle of sunshine, and a big handful of outdoor play. So this outdoor activity, if we integrate in our teaching, I think we have taught our children the smell of earth, the taste of rain, the touch of wind, and we will teach our children to let them see how things grow, to see the sun rise and the night fall. Very ironically, we go to a hill station and we sit down to see we go to a particular spot and we see sunrise and sunset. Yes, it is good. It is a spot. But how many of us ensure that we get up every morning and look at the sun? We are teachers, we are rushing around. But when I drive to the school, I'm fortunate enough to see a big ball of sun that is there. And every time I feel like, let me stop and take the image of this sun. It's so beautiful. So this is what it still gives me that feeling. Maybe I am connected to the nature. So I expect all the teachers to bring in nature to your classrooms and make the science teaching fun-filled. So instill the observation ability in the small children, and you will see a transformed students in the higher classes. Thank you. That was my presentation. And now I stop sharing and I can have an interaction session with everybody. Can I have a few interactive sessions? Yes, sir. Your feedback, please.
We request participants to come forward. If you have any queries, feel free to ask the resource person so that she can give her valuable message.
Yes, ma'am. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, one of the problem which I face while doing activities or experiment in the class, that some of the students are there who are not able to put up in words. They understood the activity, they enjoyed all those experiments, but when it is about exams and tests, so they are not able to write it down, put them in words. So that is a problem which I am facing in my class.
So, first of all, we need to be clear, like, what is our aim of this experiment? There are two things. One is which is related to our syllabus. If it is related to our syllabus, yes, we will have to guide them to it. But if you see that I had initially said that give them activities which are not evaluative. Yes, sir, you are trying to integrate your subject matter to the children, so they are not able to understand. But what is NEP saying? If they are understanding, there is two different things, knowledge and learning. If we are able to do that, I think we have achieved. So yes, at least I'm happy that you are trying to integrate. That is what my answer is. If anybody else want to say something. Any other questions
Is there
or
anyone else with any doubt?
doubts or any further inputs that may come? And most of you are experienced good teachers, so you can give your inputs as well, as Sir has shared his difficulty.
Yes. Now we would like to call upon the people who would wish to give their feedback, so that it would be more useful for the resource person to come back with a more addition, like what you people expect as trainees. Anyone with a feedback for the resource person?
Please feel free to give the response, because I'm also a learner and you are also a learner, and together we can bring about changes.
Okay. So, however, from my end, actually, we have been speaking about integration of, especially naturalistic intelligence is also a part of multiple intelligence. And also, we have been discussing about lots of scientific awareness and scientific temperament these days with regard to the students. Uh, However, we have been observing whether is there anyone who will be coming up with integration of nature into teaching science with an exclusive output on it. So I believe today it has happened to the expectations of all the resource persons of SNTTC, and you have wonderfully, come up with the integration ideas of integration of nature with teaching science. So I believe that's the reason we also find people, constantly staying here today, because they found it interesting and they really want to listen to you. So lots of appreciations from the end of SNTTC to you, Parinama.
Thank you,
And
sir.
we wish to have many more sessions from your end at SNTTC.
My privilege,
Now,
sir.
yeah. Now, the people who are here, as you know, our platform is open to attend. But the people who wish to seek a certificate for this particular session, they need to pay rupees 50 either through GPay or PhonePe or Paytm to the following number: 9908925730. This is the number to which you need to pay the money. So after paying the money, you also need to send a screenshot of that payment to the same WhatsApp number along with your complete name. Most of the people are forgetting this. So you have to send along with your complete name, because we'll be generating your certificate and we'll be sending it within 24 hours. Maximum by tomorrow evening. If not, you will be receiving by tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so maximum 24 hours. Within 24 hours, you will be getting your certificate. So that's how it is. Let us all meet in the upcoming session. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you, sir.